this push possible.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting statement because, like you said, I feel like the B site, in my opinion, is a really difficult site to take. Like, I feel on the defensive side, it's a lot easier to kind of lock it down. I feel like you have a lot more options. So it is going to be interesting to see what they're going to pull through. But things are about to go live here. This is going to be the lower semifinal, or lower semis, my apologies. So they are getting things underway now.
And we see an early recon dart coming out from the side of IMT in towards Fish, and Gen.G's already on a relatively quick push, and they're right onto site.
That's gonna be Koler already starting things off, taking down Huynh, trying to get another one. Genghsta and Koler just completely shutting it down, and GMD finds one, but Koler, that's a triple kill so far, just leaving it down only to one, and that's gonna be GMD, but gets shut down, and that's a huge round for the defensive side.
And this is why we don't push B. My goodness gracious, Gen.G completely shut down. They have to force up that Fish bottleneck directly onto site, and things just go sideways so fast. If you have a strong player anchoring that site, as I had mentioned in the pre-round, Cypher just locking it down, Koler picking up that 3K, Gen.G doesn't even get to make it onto site proper.
Yeah, it just almost looked like they just didn't have any kind of an execute whatsoever. And I mean, Koler and Genghsta just took them down. I mean, Jcstani took the last one there at the end, but it didn't really look like a solid B hit, what we were kind of expecting, and a little bit surprised, like we were just talking about earlier on.
Yeah, we'll see that now Gen.G is going to opt for a little bit more of a traditional strategy. Maybe they were just looking for shock factor there, trying to throw off IMT by taking that push. Koler obviously having no part of it, though. Instead, they're going to look for tree control here, coming up catwalk.
This is already looking good. Asuna picking up a double kill so far with the Spectre. Trying to go for more, goes for the curveball. Not able to find anybody yet. Does get rewarded with the Bulldog if he wishes. Dicey able to pick up another. Huynh taking out one more with the shorty, but it is just going to be him down. We're going to get taken down as Koler solidifies that second round with a nice little spicy headshot.
Yeah, that was a great rotation play out of Koler. They're playing defense a little bit faster and looser than we expect from a lot of teams. As I've mentioned now a couple times, Cypher is sort of the B anchor, is a very typical strategy, and what we're getting here instead is a relatively fast rotation out of the Cypher. Instead, seeing him lay base trap wires and then leaving Sova as the anchor, it's a unique adaptation out of the side of Immortals, and it's paying dividends thus far.
This is going to be a big round. I mean, we're going to see full rifles across the board now, so it should be an opportunity for the attacking side to pull through, but Asuna already going to get blocked off from the Omen smoke. Is actually going to go for more of a contention. Going to be walking through the stage, the slow orb, but Huynh going to be able to win that exchange. Now that is the advantage for Gen.G finally. Seems like they always were down the man advantage every single time. But they're going to slow things back here, just post it up on long A.
And if you're going to get an early pick, taking out Asuna early in the round is going to pay them a lot of favors. And it looks like they're, for whatever reason, kind of slowing down their push, playing a little bit more passively now that they have that man advantage. And it might come back to bite them. Although we look and see that Koler is playing a little bit indecisively back towards window.
This is really interesting. I mean, Jcstani just playing right underneath the heaven. But now they are trying to get a little bit of information with the drone. But now, position is exposed, so the execute's coming in. They're able to connect these shots when they're not, as Koler and the defense are just completely sweeping it through. And now, again, it's only just down to one. MkaeL, a 1-on-2 situation. One of the members is quite low, so if he is able to get these at one at a time, he could get this, but he's not as the reload. It doesn't pan out perfectly for him, and that's going to be another round for Immortals.
The spray transfer was there, but the bullets were so close. But that's going to be the 3-0 thus far, coming in for Immortals. A dominant showing for a team that, frankly, put up a great fight against TSM yesterday. You'd expect a little bit more out of Gen.G.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm definitely noticing, like, throughout this entire tournament is that we're seeing some teams are starting a little bit slower than typically the norm. But that is maybe the case right now, but it is going to be only 3-0, so still a lot of time for them to make it somewhat of a comeback.
Absolutely, and that was just the bonus round here for Immortals. We see the side of Gen.G forced onto a sheriff round. Once they stabilize their economy, I'd love to see some more of a mix-up out of them. They are running that Sage on offense, which gives them a really unique and powerful way to push through that Cypher defense on B. You can use the boost up of the Sage wall in Fish, use those windows on the north wall of Fish to peek onto site and preliminarily clear it. But it looks like they're going to go back to A again and are met quite quickly by Dicey, who's now on the operator with 2.
Oh, that paranoia connects perfectly as player 1 does take down Jcstani. But again, he is going to be able to teleport just on the other side of this wall. Dicey doesn't actually spot him, so position might be good for him, but he's not able to connect these shots. He's missing, and Koler is going to punish him for that, and that's going to be 4-0 again. Immortals, they're looking so good so far in Ascent.
Yeah, Immortals absolutely coming out of the gates with a vengeance here. You have to imagine that they have some insane momentum. They just came off of their losers quarter match against BBG that they won 13-1, so they're feeling it, they're warmed up, and it shows right now.
You know, 13-1, that's a huge win. That's just like domination, like really. I don't think there's any other way to say it.
No, I mean, absolutely shutting down BBG, earning their spot here in the losers semi, and they're going to work. They're proving that they truly deserve to be here right now. And we'll see if they can keep that momentum going.
That's going to be dicey, and this is one of the big benefits of playing Jet is that you're able to get that dash and get away from that situation, even if you hit or miss it. But they were able to land that operator connection. So once again, Gen.G, they're down in the player advantage. But look at this, GMD trying to connect the pop rocket, but not able to make it happen. Now just going to be pushing through Garden, but they're just getting shut down one by one again. But now things are getting a little bit more interesting. They're getting equalized. Koler going to be using the ultimate of the Cypher to get that information. So the players' positions are exposed now. Genghsta just going to be on the top of the rafters, posted up waiting. Going to be the Omen smoke to block things off. So Gen.G can slow this down. They still have plenty of time to work with, but location reveal for Huynh, and that's not the position you want to be in.
Definitely not. And while it was looking good for Gen.G here for a moment, he's now staring down a 2v1. Doesn't clear his corner, and that'll be that. 5-0 now for Immortals. Gen.G have got to find a way to stem this bleeding.
This is looking a bit scary for Gen.G. I mean, you know, just talking about Valorant for anybody that doesn't know, I mean, the halftime score is 12. So, I mean, the fact that they're already at 5-0, that's a huge statement. So, Gen.G, they need to change something, but you can see the credits on their side. It's not strong. So, we're just going to see the pistols coming on the board. Really, at this point, I mean, I think they should just try to do something together as a maybe a potential rush or some kind of an execute that way. It does look like they are grouped towards middle and long A. So, this should be interesting.
Careful now.
It's going to be really, really rough for Gen.G to make anything happen here on any sort of eco round. We see the player that was swapped in here, Dicey, who's playing for Pure Lulu's typical spot, is absolutely dominating in this match thus far with the operator, playing rotations incredibly well. And we'll see that he's now going to be onto site here just in time to counter Gen.G's push.
They're just completely grouped up on long A once again. Gen.G posted up. MkaeL able to throw cage trap to block the vision here for the defensive side. It's going to be Dicey with the operator in hand just in the back of Generator. They're completely invested on this rotate for the A hit. So they've completely left that B site open. They pretty much read Gen.G like a book right now. They're fully aware what the plan is.
Yeah, we saw that fast rotation out from Koler that we've seen in a few rounds now. Dicey was already posted up in dog, looking towards mid, and rotated onto side as soon as they got a little information. And at this point now, it's been such a long, slow push out of the side of Gen.G that we have the Sova also joining them. And now we see Gen.G try to take the push in a 5v3.
Player 1 able to get in that site. Koler picks up one, trying to connect the knives, but Huynh able to get in and gets another one. This is getting really, really interesting. So now down to Koler, but he's going to get shut down. And that's a huge round from Gen.G. The fact that they were just only on sheriffs and pistols, now they picked up rifles, and finally a round they much needed.
Absolutely. That's the kind of momentum swing that Gen.G really needs if they want this first half to be anything acceptable. Huynh coming up absolutely massive there, even though they were on a pistol round, using that Jet ultimate to terrifying effect, shutting down Dicey's operator, making sure that Koler was isolated towards heaven and not able to clear anyone from the tree side of site or more towards A main. And Gen.G picks up a round gets a little bit of economy behind them at a much needed phase in the match.
So Gen.G once again, bread and butter of the A hit. Having 4 members going to be invested towards that long A and back in middle. Having the Cypher just in mid link. Not really putting any attention into B since they tried that the very first pistol round. Completely thrown that out of the playbook. Koler just going to be inside a market, just posted up waiting. But this is really interesting. This is a lot more of a slow round once again from Gen.G. They seem to just kind of get that control of long A and not really make a lot of noise. A lot of interactions yet until late into the round, but Dicey will have 2 members to find here just on short. Boombody going to get taken down. They're going to get control now. The Rays need able to push him back.
And Koler's already on the fast rotate through mid. He's going to have a flank here on at least 2 members of Gen.G if they don't watch their backs. And it's not even going to be necessary as Jcstani takes down the 2 of them in tree. The 3 don't have much choice left other than to force onto site, despite an acute disadvantage at this point.
And player 1 actually does find that shot onto Asuna. Takes him down. I believe that he was playing the sight box. Jcstani once again just playing on the closed door. It's going to be a bit of an interesting position for him because the door isn't blocked yet, but the position, it's not good for him, and that's going to be Effys to pick up another, but there's only 13 seconds left, and that's going to be Effys picking up the double kill. So now it's all down to Genghsta, but he's going to fall, and Gen.G, they finally, again, they pick up another round, 5-2.
Gen.G making miracles right here. Honestly, they had no business picking up that round after we saw that 2-man pick in tree. So they're pulling off some pretty insane plays here in order to keep themselves in this game.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, you know, Anders, from your point of view, I mean, we're just seeing Gen.G, they just maintain that long A control, and then it just seems like they do a bit of like a CS style execute. Do you think that's always just the norm, or is this kind of a little bit different?
I think that generally what we see on this map is we'll see a 2-man push through A main and a 3-man push up catwalk. Gen.G's throwing a little bit of an abnormal version of that, where they're very regularly just sending a full 4-stack up A main, playing really slow, and leaving a singleton towards B, covering Fish. And we see that here a little bit biting them, where they still have MkaeL playing that sort of back flank coverage, and he gets picked off as a fast-pushing Koler moves into him. But now that the Cypher is gone, they're more willing to push B than they ever would be normally. And so they're going to go right in. We see that Sage boost in Fish that I mentioned that makes this take a lot easier on offense, and they just have complete B control.
Not a lot for Immortals to do. I mean, they are in the save round, so they don't have a lot of weapons to use in this kind of a situation. Jcstani's going to fall. Asuna does take down Effys. That is going to be the Sage boost, and it looks like a little bit more contention with the operator. Still in B main. That is Huynh. Going to fall back in a better position. Just wait to see if he connects this shot. Misses that again. It's 2 in a row that he's missed now. Trying to go for the third. Is it a third time? No, it's not going to work as Dicey wins that exchange. So now they're going to be able to push their way through B main. The question will be if he actually wants to go for this GMD just on the other side of the door, mid-market. The satchel connecting a lot of damage. Takes him all the way down to half HP. Ascent able to spray and takes down player 1. So now they might be able to pinch this. Are they able to get it? GMD shuts it down. So now it's going to be only down to 1 player left of Gen.G. That's going to get shut down as Asuna picks up a triple, but that will be the spike to be detonated. So 5-3. That's 3 in a row we've seen now.
Yeah, Gen.G finding their footing finally and stringing it along very effectively at this point. We'll see if they can't continue this and bring the scoreline up to even. Really like to see the adaptation out of them there, just as we're saying that they've done these sort of slow multi-man A main pushes time after time. They mix it up on us. They do more of a 2-1-2 split, play for a little bit of mid control, and though their B-side lurk gets punished, the quick trade-off on that gives them access to that site and gives them a real mix-up execute here to put Immortals on the back foot.
Dicey switching up the position once again. We have seen Dicey play inside the A side, but now we're going to be playing towards middle. Falling back, giving it up, and allowing Gen.G to have that mid control. A lot of real estate for them to obtain now. Oh, Huynh almost able to land that shot through the smoke. But it will be the player on the defensive side to survive and escape with his life. But I'm a little curious because we're not really seeing the defensive side play really aggressive. Asuna tries to connect something, but that's gonna be the raise, and that's GMD able to connect the ultimate and takes it down, so they get that man advantage once again.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of an odd defensive approach out of Immortals thus far. They're running a Sageless composition, and I've explained it a couple times throughout the broadcasts this weekend that Sageless, when it's on defense, really wants to take one of two approaches. They either want to play an extremely aggressive counter-offensive, where they're literally pushing into the offense from the defensive side, or they want to play for retake. They generally want to just sort of willingly cede sites and then play off of their utility and their aggression, more or less playing attack from the defense side. And we haven't seen much of any of that out of the side of Immortals.
Definitely have not. And that is just Jcstani, the last player alive, trying to escape, but Effys going to be the lurk, takes him down. And that's going to be 5-4. And this is kind of what I was talking about before. I mean, I was a little worried for Gen.G. It was 5-0, but it looks like they finally got everything a little bit warmed up. They're feeling a bit better, and they're only one round away from tying this thing up.
Yeah, Gen.G showing they're absolutely not out of this game. We're looking at a first half now where they could still end in the lead.
The opportunity is absolutely there, and I mean, just based on what we're seeing, it doesn't look like Immortals really has much of a reply. Again, their money situation isn't just completely busted. Not a lot for them to work with yet, so they're going to have to go for a bit of a gamble this round. But they might need to just save the special play for that next gun round.
Yeah, we see again a little bit of a mix-up out of the side of Gen.G, looking for that fish control. We'll see if they push up and use that Sage boost to clear sight. Looks like they'll be doing exactly that based on the positioning of the minimap.
They just waited, but Huynh able to win that exchange, connects the operator once more. Effys doing the Sage wall boost, as you mentioned earlier on. Jcstani, he's trying to connect something through the cage, but not able to make it happen. Does a little bit of damage. Just not really a lot for them to work with. Koler finally picks up player one as the door is just closing. So it's a 4-on-4 situation. Spike is going to get planted. And this is a really difficult site to hold as well. I mean, the retake can be just as difficult, so that's what makes it really, really interesting. Asuna pushing through, blindly shooting through the smoke, but GMD takes him down. A lot of frags are happening on the side here for Gen.G. It is Dicey trying to make something happen, going to get shut down, and that's going to be 5-5. It's a tie game.
Unlucky for Dicey there. Using the tailwind to push back into sort of the pre-center side of B. Little did he know, he had Huynh literally floating above him and just gets taken out.
It's a feel-bad moment.
You hate to see it. A tied game now. Will Gen.G flip this scoreline for the first time this match?
And this can be one of those things where it's quite demoralizing. I mean, the fact that you have this big lead, and now Gen.G, they just seem to kind of figure out the play that they want to do. This can be really, really frustrating for the defensive side. Like, they just don't seem to have an answer yet. So a lot of pressure for them now. And this would actually probably be more frustrating for them if they lose this first half.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked in the pregame how the side of Immortals is a notably younger roster with quite a bit less experience, and so you have to start worrying about things like team mentality and anti-momentum coming into play here, where you go from such a dominant start of the game to such an abysmal midsection.
Definitely very good point, but you can see Boombody able to get the position revealed for Jcstani, and he's going to get taken down early on again. Gen.G, they're doing such a good job to get that first pick right away. And now this puts the defensive side in such a bind because they're going to have to push back and reposition and really just go for a bit of a gamble. Here. Especially on a map like Ascent, that can be quite difficult.
Yeah, we see yet another mix-up in Gen.G's execute strategy here, playing up through mid. We'll see if they opt for B here. The most likely, obviously. We see the wad of Effys more or less forcing them on to B at this point. So we see Snap rotates out of both the Jet and Phoenix from the side of Immortals.
They're going to get blocked here from the Omen smoke. Dicey trying to get the boost with the knives out, trying to see if he can connect anything. It is MkaeL to find the head of Genghsta. So they get that site control, so it will be the spike to be planted immediately, leaving it only down to 3 here for IMT. But the question will be if they want to go for it. But based from what we're seeing, it looks like they actually are just going to hightail their way out of the site and try to save those weapons for that last round.
Yeah, where they've now lost a string of 6 rounds straight. You have to imagine their economy is going to be moving towards a pretty haggard state of being, and they'd much rather just preserve that operator, preserve their rifles, and go next. Try and make sure that it's a tied half.
One of the things I'm a little curious about from IMT's point of view is I'm almost thinking they're a little bit scared. I mean, I don't know if it's maybe scared or maybe worried that they don't want to do the aggression. I feel like some of the matches we've seen when you're playing that defensive side, if you kind of do the counter aggression in middle and trying to throw them off guard, that can be beneficial. So we just haven't really seen that from IMT.
Yeah, I would love to see a lot more of that, honestly. Like I said, they're running Sageless. Counteroffensive is one of the best tools that they have in their kit, and we haven't seen much or any of that. Where's the Asuna fast push up A main to either find early picks or at least gather information? Because one thing that we have seen is that Gen.G is generally hard committed to whatever side their primary stack is started on. There hasn't been any large sort of mid-round rotations. And so if we did see that fast push out of Asuna, and he saw the 4 stack that we've seen now multiple times from Gen.G in A main, you can just move all of your players around and you're going to deal with a lot better of a defensive situation overall.
But again, Gen.G, they go back to the A site hit. They're just grouped up on long A, leaving it 2 members in middle for a bit of a split play. So now what they're going to be able to do is get that pinch onto short and also on long A. So a lot here riding for Jcstani, trying to shut things down, but position again exposed. But it is going to be MkaeL getting down to 16 HP. They get nicked through the corner of the wall. Jcstani finally connects one. Asuna going to be taken down, and now Gen.G, they're just wiping the floor clean of all the IMT players. They finally get that control. The HP is not looking very good for them yet, but it is the man advantage, and just leaving it down to 2 so far. Genghsta trying to make something happen on the top rafters. Just on the other side of the smoke is going to be Huynh. He could catch them off guard, but that is going to be the drone that does reveal the location of him. So this is a really tough position for both these players on the defense. They have to go for this. This is the very last round, and everybody knows where they are.
It's been such a crazy game so far. I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that IMT was coming off that dominant win against BBG, and so they were already warmed up. Gen.G just needed those 5 rounds to warm up, and once they were warm, they came to play. This has been insane since. Now going up 7-5 in the half. I think Immortals desperately needs to win this pistol if they want to sort of reset their mental and head into this second half on the right foot.
No, I definitely agree. I think the pistol round is going to be absolutely key for IMT now that we've switched things over into that second half. They need a bit of a boost. Like we've been saying this whole game, they had a 5-0 lead. And the fact that you just lost 7 in a row, that really is going to hit your mentality. And like you said, they are like a bit of a younger team, less experienced, things like that. So it does kind of put the question into play if they can bounce back, because Gen.G right now, they have all the momentum behind them.
Absolutely. I'm eager to see as well how the side of IMT opts to play their offense here. As we saw with Gen.G, they do have access to the Sage, that fish boost that helps open up B side a bit. Running Sageless with IMT limits their options a lot more. They're going to be forced into primarily A pushes, and if they do want to take B, it's going to require mid into market control, which might be exactly what they're pushing for here.
And Asuna just on the other side, the B lobby, able to take down GMD, and that's already a really good start for them so far. And look at this control they have, but Huynh able to reply back, so shuts it down a little bit more, only down to 5 HP. But that's player 1 picking up a double. And now they're going to be pushing the defensive side back, but it is only 2 members of the attackers. Genghsta trying to make it work, and he's able to pick up 2 more. What is going on? This is absolutely looking amazing so far from Genghsta. Can he do this? This would be a 1-on-4 for him. He's got 2 more to go, 51 seconds remaining. Able to pick up the spike, potentially. Huynh not completely blocking it. Genghsta just about to peek as Huynh looking the wrong way. Look at the hop from Huynh, trying to go for more, takes him down. And keeping that momentum train going, that's going to be 8-5.
Seconds from disaster there for the side of Gen.G, but Huynh coming up clutch when it mattered. Cheeky updraft to pick off Genghsta after he misses that initial shot. And you gotta wonder at this point, what does IMT have left in the chamber to make this game a fight?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you because I think really now they're going to be relying on like a gun round to really pull this back. That pistol was really important for them. But Gen.G, they're feeling really good. You can tell the confidence is there. They're getting a little bit more aggro. They're doing a bit more aggression that we didn't really see that first half. So it is just putting a bit of a guessing game now for IMT.
Yeah, and it's not an issue of IMT's strategy. We saw there that mid into market control, a early pick from Asuna. They had all of the pieces in motion, and then it just fell apart based off of gun duels. If they keep throwing things like that, I think they have a genuine chance. They just can't let the mental start affecting their ability to take these duels.
The defensive side, they are going to be playing bolt towards door. MkaeL just on the other side, but now repositioning himself to get behind the generator. A little bit of a very strong position. But again, IMT, and now they're actually going to be switching it back. So they're just in the back and middle. Huynh able to take down Jcstani. Spike will be dropped, but it immediately picked up. And now look at this aggression again. Huynh picking up a triple. Oh my goodness. And now the trades are coming through. But Huynh already doing so much work. And MkaeL trying to look for more. Gets the double spurry through the cage trigger. And that's huge. 9-5.
Yeah, Gen.G starting to run away with this one a little bit. 9-5. Immortals not being able to find any sort of footing in this second half as of yet.
This goes here.
We'll have to see here. Now they're going to be on at least a half buy with rifles on 4 players. We'll see if Genghsta buys in here as well with heavy armor. Yeah, perfect. So we have full rifles across IMT. We'll see that this may be a breaking point for them.
Get out of my way.
There's completely a lot riding on this round for IMT. I think if they don't pull this through, this might be a bit of a run through for Gen.G. They might have their number. Well, it's only a matter of time to see. Still a minute and 26 left as the round just completely much started. Cyber Cage going to be blocking off the long A connection. Leaving IMT again. They're going to fall back. They're not going to go for this. Playing a bit of a unorthodox play so far. Not really getting a lot of map control. Really hesitation that we're seeing so far on the attacking side. Having the more attention from Gen.G on the defense, putting so much towards A and completely giving up middle and actually having their Sage completely pushed up into B lobby.
IMT so close to making the right call here. I mentioned it just a moment ago how one of the ways that IMT could have countered Gen.G's offense was that they almost never made a map-wide rotation once they were seen on a given side. IMT doubles down, doing exactly that, showing on the A side, and then still committing to the A site.
This is already seeming to pan out somewhat, but now it's falling apart once again. It's going to be GMD able to land it. Oh my goodness, and that's a triple kill. That is not what you want to see if you're on the side of IMT. And now Gen.G, they're only 3 rounds away from taking this map number 1.
You hate to see the blast pack kills. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's just such a feel bad moment. Like the blast pack just coming right at your face. You're like, yeah, there's nothing I can do in this situation right now.
This is how it ends.
This is how it all ends. And the song plays like "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend." It's just, yeah, you just hear it all.
This is going to be a rough one. I'm not going to lie. At this point, you see a broken econ again out of IMT, and they're very quickly running out of options. You have to imagine that they might pull a rabbit out of a hat here, but they're likely to go down 11-5, and at that point, they have literally lost 11 rounds in a row. How do you recover from that? I'm not sure there's even a way to do it.
Yeah, it really just the mental fortitude. I know we've talked a lot about it this game so far, but it really does make a huge difference. I mean, Gen.G, like we've been saying, they have 5 rounds pretty much where they can do whatever they want. They can go for a bit more risky plays if they want. They can just do anything. It's pretty much a fruitful picking for them. Whereas IMT, now they're really starting to second guess themselves. But Huynh able to land that shot onto Dicey. Bit of a unusual position to be in, but again, like I said before, that dash able to get him out of that situation quite quickly. Now we're just going to be posted up Jcstani trying to make it happen, but that's going to be a triple kill so far for Huynh, and this is just again IMT falling apart one by one by one.
I hate to say it's over, but it's hard to believe that it's anything but over. IMT just doesn't seem to have it in them to drag this map back, and you almost have to start deciding, if you're on IMT at this point, are we really going to put a whole ton of effort in trying to swing this game back in our favor? Or do you start going through comms, talking about what's necessarily going wrong, try and keep up team morale, and say, all right, GG go next. We still got the next two.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of makes you wonder. And I mean, just looking at the credits for looking at IMT, I mean, this is kind of the last valiant effort that they can make. I mean, you can see the weapons are there. They all purchased the Phantoms, full armor. So this is pretty much the do or die moment for them. If they can win this round, that gives them a little bit of a glimpse of hope. But if they fall in this really does put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can make the magic happen here on what should be their last rifle round.
But I do like this play from IMT. They actually are switching it up once more. So they actually have a bit of a 2-1-2. Trying to see if they can make any early connections. That's going to be Genghsta trying to connect. The ultimate actually does take down Effys. It's a really good start already for them. Something we just have not seen so far. So late in the game. But they're going to be pushing their way in towards B. GMG just waiting to hold.
Prepare for hellfire.
That's going to be the ultimate coming through. MkaeL trying to reposition himself to be close with his teammate. Blast Pack not able to be connected yet. Ascent does pick up another Dicey, able to get that down. So now they get the A site control, or the B site control, my apologies, just leaving it down to player one. And finally, we see something from IMT.
Phenomenal way to really put Gen.G on the back foot. That 2-1-2 split you mentioned, and the phenomenal ultimate coming out of Genghsta for the preliminary pick. He almost even sniped Huynh on rotation there, predicting that aggressive rotation that we expect due to the really aggressive committal that's required on this map. And it allows the rest of his team to just quickly push on to B, find a pick. The rest of the players who were originally at A making the rotation as well, establishing unbreakable B control, and they finally get another round on the board.
And this is like what I was saying before. I mean, we both have been pretty much saying this entire game, but it was pretty much the do or die moment for them. So this gives them that, you know, a bit of a bright moment for them. So now they can kind of figure out, okay, this isn't completely over yet. We just got to take it round by round. We've seen some crazy comebacks so far in Valorant. But it's just going to be a long road for them as they still have plenty of rounds to go. And the nice thing is that Gen.G does have such a big lead that they, like I said before, they can do pretty much anything they want. If they want to go for a bit of a gamble, they could. I mean, it's not really a big risk for them at this point.
Yeah, Gen.G in many ways is playing with house money, so they can kind of do what they want, where on the side of IMT, you can't really give a single round here at this point. You're on your last leg, and given they're playing like it is, they're definitely showing that they've still got bite left in them.
And it does find the connection onto Effys. Going for that B hit once again, but this time they are actually going to switch it up. They're not going for more of a split play yet. Spike going to be making all the way through the attacker spawn, making their way through B main. But it's going to be player one. The positioning not strong, but Huynh able to land another shot and just misses the other one. Showstopper going to be coming through, not going to be able to land. And this is just not looking good for Huynh, and he does actually take down one more before he falls. And MkaeL, he wasn't able to get that shot on the Koler, so that's now 2 rounds in a row from IMT.
IMT bringing it back around, giving us some hope.
I'm starting to hear that Rocky music. I think they're getting a little fired up. So, but I mean, like we were saying, the money was looking so good for Gen.G, and now it's looking quite low. I mean, they can go for a full buy this round, but if they lose it, they're going to have to go for the save. So this could be a really, really good opportunity for IMT to pick up a couple more if this round goes in their favor.
Absolutely. If they crack Gen.G's economy here, that's their way back into this game. It's definitely not over completely, obviously. They've got 2 rounds that they can still seed. But they aren't looking to drop anything. That is not how you want to see it start off, though, with Huynh hopping right through, picking off Asuna. It's traded back by Jcstani, but it's all for naught.
And this is kind of what I was saying before, like going for that risk play as they now are on the defensive side. They have the cushion of the few rounds. And I really, really like that play. They get so much information. They know the spike is all the way over at B. But now things are going to get a little bit more control. The 3-on-3 situation, still lots of time to work with. But MkaeL just on the other side of this wall. Dicey, is he going to check it? No, he's going to get taken down. That's the spike to fall. Going to be using the Cypher ultimate, which does reveal the position of the enemies. So now they have full information. GMD going to be playing inside of Garden, so leaving it only down to 2 here for IMT.
Yeah, IMT in the grips of death here in a 2v3. Not the type of map control you want to see with them now completely pincered. Gen.G with complete spike control. You can't imagine this ends well for them.
Talk about a sandwich. This is not where you want to be. Blast Pack just flying into the face of Genghsta, but he's going to fall. So Gen.G, they reply back, and they're on match point now.
Yeah, I gotta say, I can't expect anything other than a 13-7 at this point. We see rifles still on the side of Immortals, but the way that this match has gone front to back at this point, you have to think it's over.
Yeah, I mean that the comeback is looking a little bit grim. I mean, like we said, I mean the good thing for IMT is that they do have strong weapons to work with. Not enough really for an operator, but they are just going to go for the Phantoms across. So that is a better position than being on a full save, pretty much. But again, Gen.G, they get that B main control, getting that orb, and able to fall back in B. But IMT, they're putting all their attention towards A, and Gen.G's actually kind of given up that site control. That's going to try to push through the door. Might be the element of surprise, but that's going to be the ultimate to fall, so that's not going to matter. The armor does deplete for the Phoenix, but still able to remain alive for this round, and that's a 5-on-5 now. This is a retake situation.
A full 5-on-5 retake, not something we've really seen thus far, but something that leans pretty well towards the side of Immortals. We'll see how this plays out. Koler critically not dying to the boombot. Asuna pushing site, picking up 2 almost immediately. And that completely falls apart with Jcstani picking up another 2 towards the end of that push. Immortals aren't done just yet.
I'm just, you know, they keep surprising me a little bit. You know, they're looking like they're in the position where it's just not looking good. And then they pull those big rounds where it really could benefit well for them. And look at this. The money situation, again, Gen.G is just not looking strong. I mean, they do have enough to go into this. But again, if they lose this round, it puts them in a save round. So it gives IMT that glimpse of hope again to maybe get the double digits.
Yeah, this bodes really well, not only for this map, but for the rest of this set. Clearly, IMT has a lot left in them. They haven't just thrown this map away. They haven't said, okay, go next. They're still looking for every single round they can pick up. And there's still, albeit a fringe one, a possibility that they win this.
Anything can happen, Anders. But either way, we will see now, again, a split strategy coming from IMT. The 2-1, or the 2-2-1, my apologies, only having one player towards A. But MkaeL getting that information. Actually spots the head of Dicey. That's perfect timing, takes him down. That's going to be the operator player from IMT. So they get that man advantage once again. They get that early frag, fall back, reposition. Koler going to fall back, not able to get hit from the nade of the Raze. But they have full mid control, but that is going to be the Jet from Gen.G, just sitting on the post here of Market, and that's going to be Huynh, able to take down one. Can he make more? Gets almost the second, but Jcstani takes him down. And now they're going for that split play, and Effys going to have to hold this down with the Omen just inside of the spawn side connector.
Out of charges.
And we see here IMT just moving too slowly. They're now completely pincered. The last 2 players completely locked down in Market. And that's that. No such luck. They lost map control too quickly. The last 2 players locked down. And Gen.G will take the map 13-8.
What a good game. I mean, it was looking so good for IMT in the very beginning, but then it just seemed to kind of fall apart near the end, or pretty much near the middle.